president of a digital marketing agency called Twist Image. We have about 120 employees with offices in Montreal and Toronto, Canadian. And I've got a blog and podcast and book called 6 Pixels of Separation, which is all about digital marketing and media hacking. That's where I do my media hacking. Well, I think that my core message is really that the change in the digital marketing landscape is really about how brands understand and embrace this idea of real interactions with real human beings. That it's not just about broadcasting and shoveling your stuff down people's gullets just because you're connected to them on Facebook, but understanding what that relationship really is, what it means, and how you can connect more effectively as a brand. And so I become less interested in how many people are following you on Twitter and more interested in brands that understand who those people are that are actually following them, that are engaged, that care, that want to be connected to them. And so, through that I sort of walk people through a bunch of different trends, from haul videos over to, projects or products like Woot and Groupon, where it's just one thing that you're selling, not a million things. And also just the connectivity issue too, about how it's not having an internet and a mobile strategy, it's about having a connected strategy, what I call one line of communications and connections. So the idea is that a lot of people build these sort of online places and destinations that are trying to drive people to, and I think what we're starting to see now is, in a disintermediated world, in a place where media is everywhere and people are creating content, that the great brands are really the ones who understand where their consumers are and how to connect to them where they are. One of the examples I gave was Best Buy actually sells. They have e-commerce within Facebook. So it's like, you want to buy something, you don't have to leave Facebook and go to my site, because that's how I would make it that your will bend to us, but rather we're going to bend to the will of the consumer and where they are and how they're connected. And I think that's a big one. The other big one is really about focusing on why you're doing it, not what you're doing. So a lot of people will say, what are you doing on Facebook and what are you doing on Twitter? And I like to ask why. Why should you be on Facebook? Why should you be on Twitter? Because understanding why ties into the business strategy and what you're trying to accomplish versus what, which is just the tactic of it. Haul videos are pretty interesting. It's H-A-U-L, and what we're seeing is this trend where young women, predominantly aged 13 and up, are actually going out shopping with their friends, as they always do at the shopping mall, coming home and videoing their haul, what they bought, and they're actually talking about it in great descriptions. And one of the videos I showed is this young woman who has, on that video, a whole bunch of views. It was a ridiculous amount, over 600,000, cumulatively over 50 million views. Videos are like 9, 10, 12 minutes long, where she's going into intricate detail about the product and what it is and what it does and what it can't do. And it's just a real fascinating new trend that we're seeing, where people are sharing what they bought with the world. Unboxing is fairly common. It's been around for a while, where people buy something, whether it's a MacBook or an iPhone, and you come home and you show the box and you show the opening of it and how it's packaged and how it comes together and how it opens up and stuff. And you're seeing it again across all sorts of different types of products and with that. And so, just people sharing their stories about the stuff they're passionate about, what they like and don't like.
Sure.
I think commerce is social by its very nature. I think the fact that people go out and buy things is a social activity. People love talking about the things they bought and why they bought them, and I wish that they would take that sort of spirit and bring it into their digital channels more. And I think that the brands that understand that people want to be connected to the brand and talk about them and share them are the brands that are just doing great things. And so my message is always think about the digital space as you see your retail environment to a certain degree, where you're trying to create a social atmosphere that puts people in the mood for commerce. And a lot of times it doesn't have to do with transaction. It has to do with creating content. It has to do with creating a sense of community. It has to do with creating a sense of back and forth that's very candid and real. Just be great. Consumers really want to be connected. They want to do things. Create the platforms by which that allows them to connect to one another. That's the best advice I can give.